Travel Adventures with Marilyn and Craig. While researching YouTube on places to travel and things to see, we found some interesting sites. But the information about those locations and what to do once you get there was always a little limited.
I love to take pictures.
And I love shooting video.
And we both love to travel.
So what could be better than to share our travel adventures on YouTube for those of you that want to learn from our experiences? The island of Rhodes in Greece. An island in the Mediterranean with a rich history that dates back to biblical times and the location of one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world, the Colossus at Rhodes. Today, it is a bustling hub of commerce and tourist activities from all the cruise ships. In this travel adventure, Marilyn and I were traveling with 2 of our longest and best friends from Las Vegas, Rosemary and Daryl DeHart. Rosemary is a retired dance teacher, originally from the UK. She worked in Las Vegas on the fabulous Las Vegas Strip at the Stardust Hotel in the Lido show as a dancer and has now lived in the U.S. for over 50 years. Daryl and I have been friends for over 40 years. Our travel history goes back to his first ski trip to Europe with me over the Christmas holidays in 1980 and 81. In fact, both Rosemary and Daryl went skiing with me on that trip to the Alps, but that's a whole different story. The first stop on our Rhodes adventure started with a bus tour to Lindos, a village on the other side of the island and famous for its Acropolis. It is perched on the top of a mountain, just like every other ruins in Greece, and it requires a hike to the top of a hill. You can walk through the town and shop at the street vendors, or for those that want to lift and are a little bit more adventurous, you can take the 4-legged elevator. Rosemary and Daryl went for the express route. Rosemary got on that thing like a jockey. While Daryl took it a little easier because of his bionic hip. Unlike many of the Greek walkways, the path to the summit has a gradual grade, and the pavement is relatively smooth. There are a lot of shops and restaurants in Lindos, and the village has a charm of its own. Marilyn and I did it the old-fashioned way and horse marched while looking at sights and shopping. While the Acropolis in Athens is more famous, the Acropolis at Lindos is actually over 100 years older. Our group and our guide met at the entrance of the Acropolis, where we were given some of the history of the village and the area. The history dates back to the Bronze Age and is chronicled with visits from the Egyptians, Byzantines, medieval knights, and the Ottoman Turks. The Knights of St. John's captured the fortress in 1307 and constructed a fortress in the 14th and 15th century. But the majority of the ancient Greek architects and ruins remains today. In 1522, the citadel fell to the Ottoman Turks, who remained there until 1844. Once we got to the top, we were able to wander around and explore at our own pace. Every spot had a new vista, each one more beautiful than the last. Lindos Acropolis is much smaller than the one in Athens, and there are a lot less tourists. But I almost think that I enjoyed the Acropolis in Lindos more than the one in Athens. The bus tour continued to the bonus ceramic shop, where we were given a demonstration on how to make traditional Greek pottery. Needless to say, at the end of the demo, we were given the opportunity to purchase items from the outlet mall. Upon our return to the Royal Princess, we decided we were going to hire a taxi and a driver to take us on an additional tour of Rhodes. Our driver, Zorba, spoke English and was prepared to take us to the sites the tour buses didn't go. The price for the four of us was very reasonable, and yes, we were able to negotiate the price. It ended up being about $50 for 2 hours. He took us to a variety of sites to include a Greek amphitheater and Olympic arena.
So this is an amphitheater, and we rented a private taxi cab driver to take us around, and unlike the bus tour, he took us to this place. This is the amphitheater at Rhodes, and then this is a stadium where the Greeks competed in the games. And interestingly enough, he pointed out to me and to the rest of us that the Greeks were into sports. They shot arrows, they ran, they did a lot of different events like that. And it was the Romans, which were of course many years after that, that were into blood sport, and they built the Colosseum specifically for that.
We finally went to the harbor and the location of the ancient Colossus at Rhodes. While the Colossus is no longer there, they have other statues that welcome sailors into the Rhodes harbor. This is what the Colossus of Rhodes was reported to look like when it was built between 294 and 282 BC. To me, Rhodes was one of the highlights of our Mediterranean cruise. The shopping, restaurants, beaches, sightseeing, and good friends. It was great, and we all agree that we enjoyed Rhodes immensely. If you have an opportunity, visit Rhodes.